Lewis Hamilton already won with Ferrari in China, but in the sprint race, can he repeat the feat in the main race? Today we analyze all his possibilities and the key factors that will define the Chinese GP. Do you think Hamilton will achieve his first victory with Ferrari in a main race? Let me know in the comments. The Chinese Grand Prix began with an event that few expected. Lewis Hamilton achieved his first victory with Ferrari in the sprint race. A result that generated enormous expectations, but also many questions about Ferrari's true level and whether this performance could be replicated in Sunday's main race. To understand the magnitude of this triumph, it is necessary to analyze the context in which it occurred. Hamilton arrived in China needing to demonstrate that his adaptation to the SF25 was progressing after a disappointing start to the season in Australia. Scuderia Ferrari had worked intensively on the car's setup to maximize its performance in Shanghai, a circuit that has historically favored cars with good traction in slow corners and efficient tire wear management. Qualifying for the sprint race showed signs of what was to come. Hamilton took pole position with a flawless lap, demonstrating that Ferrari had found the right balance between downforce and top speed. The track had higher grip than usual, allowing the SF25 to take advantage of its aerodynamic setup without having to compromise stability too much in fast corners. When the lights went out in the sprint race, Hamilton made a perfect start and maintained the lead position without any major complications. From that moment on, his control of the race was absolute. Taking advantage of the clean air, he was able to better manage tire degradation, an area he has consistently excelled at throughout his career. Ferrari had opted for a lower downforce approach compared to his direct rivals, allowing Hamilton to defend himself on the long straights without being vulnerable to DRS. One of the most surprising aspects of his performance was the precision with which he handled the most technical sections of the circuit, particularly the first sector and turn 11, where he achieved lap times superior to those of his closest competitors. Telemetry analysis showed that his ability to anticipate the ideal line in these key areas was crucial in maintaining his advantage. In the closing laps, when the tires were expected to begin to deteriorate, Hamilton maintained a consistent pace, securing a convincing victory. After crossing the finish line, Ferrari engineers highlighted his ability to optimize tire wear without losing performance, something that under normal conditions could have been a problem for the SF25. The sprint victory left several questions. Was it a true reflection of Ferrari's potential or simply a result favored by the short race conditions? Team principal Fred Vasseur acknowledged Hamilton's merit, but also warned that tire management is much easier when leading without traffic. This comment underscores one of the key concerns for the feature race: the SF25's ability to maintain its pace when facing rivals in more strategically demanding conditions. While this victory represented a milestone in Hamilton's new era, after Lewis Hamilton's solid performance in the sprint race, qualifying for the 2025 Chinese Grand Prix feature race took an unexpected turn for Ferrari. What looked like a weekend with a great chance of victory turned into a difficult session that left Hamilton and Charles Leclerc outside the front of the grid. The SF25, which had shown outstanding performance in the sprint race, appeared to be a car with the potential to fight for pole in Saturday's qualifying. However, small changes to the car's setup will greatly affect the driver's balance and confidence on track. Hamilton, who had commandingly led the sprint race, only qualified in 5th place, while Leclerc finished 6th. One of the key factors that compromised Ferrari's qualifying performance was the SF25's sensitivity to setup adjustments. Following its success in the sprint, the team opted to modify certain parameters to improve long-run performance and optimize tire management for Sunday's race. However, these changes led to a point of instability that affected its handling in high-speed corners. Hamilton described this situation as an unexpected problem that altered the car's performance on track. According to him, the suspension and downforce adjustments failed to improve the car's stability, but instead pushed it to a breaking point, where it became difficult to handle in demanding conditions. This was reflected in the telemetry, which showed inconsistent performance in the second and third sectors, where corner speed was crucial to setting a good lap time. Another determining factor in qualifying was the difference in track conditions between the sprint and qualifying sessions. During the short race, the SF25 had shown excellent grip and good tire management. However, track temperature rose slightly on Saturday afternoon, altering how the soft tires entered their optimal operating window. Ferrari was unable to react in time to this change, and attempts to improve grip with tire pressure modifications were not enough to recover lost performance. The team also faced difficulties in terms of strategy. Throughout qualifying, it was clear that Ferrari failed to place its drivers in the best positions on track to maximize the tire's performance. In Q3, Hamilton and Leclerc didn't have completely clean laps, which affected their final times and left them at a disadvantage compared to their direct rivals from Red Bull and McLaren. The lack of consistency in the SF25's performance also highlighted that Ferrari continues to struggle to find a setup that works in all the weekend's conditions. Despite dominating the sprint, subsequent adjustments showed that the car still has a very narrow performance window, forcing the team to make high-risk setup decisions. The qualifying result left Ferrari in a difficult situation for the main race. With Hamilton starting from 5th place and Leclerc from 6th, the team's strategy will need to focus on finding an effective way to recover positions without compromising tire management. The long straights of the Shanghai circuit offer opportunities for DRS advancements, but the SF25's ability to remain competitive in traffic remains an open question. The question remains whether Ferrari can turn things around in the main race. The performance in the sprint demonstrates the car has potential, but the inconsistency shown in qualifying suggests the team still needs to better understand how to maximize the SF25's performance without compromising its stability. The answer will only come on Sunday, when Ferrari has its last chance to turn a promising weekend into a real fight for victory. For Lewis Hamilton to have a realistic chance of winning the 2025 Chinese Grand Prix, Ferrari will need to execute an impeccable strategy and take advantage of every opportunity on track. While the sprint race made it clear the SF25 can be competitive in Shanghai, the circumstances of the main race will be completely different, with new challenges that will test both team and driver. One of the most determining factors will be tire management. Shanghai is a demanding circuit in this regard due to the combination of long corners and high-speed sectors that generate significant wear, particularly on the front left tire. Hamilton is known for his ability to extend tire life without sacrificing too much pace, a skill that could be key if the race features different pit stop strategies. However, Ferrari has struggled in this regard throughout the season, and excessive degradation was a major issue at the Australian Grand Prix. If the SF25 fails to maintain consistent pace without excessive rubber consumption, Hamilton's usual strategic advantage in this regard could be compromised. Another key point will be race strategy. Starting from 5th place, Ferrari will have to decide whether to opt for an aggressive approach in the opening laps or prioritize conserving tires and waiting for the right moment to attack. Shanghai is a circuit where undercutting, overtaking a rival by pitting early and using fresh tires, can be very effective if executed correctly. For this strategy to work, Hamilton will need to be close enough to the leaders in the early stages of the race, meaning his start will be crucial. A good start could put him in a favorable position to fight for the podium from the outset, while a poor start could force him to wear out his tires in the fight to recover positions. Race pace will be another decisive factor. In the sprint, Hamilton had the advantage of running in clean air by leading from the opening lap, which made tire management easier and allowed him to maximize the performance of the SF25. However, in the main race, the situation will be completely different. Starting from the 3rd row means he'll spend a significant portion of the first stint in traffic, which could negatively affect tire temperature and the car's aerodynamic efficiency. Ferrari will need to ensure the car is properly set up to perform well in these conditions and avoid unnecessary time losses. DRS strategy will also play a key role in Hamilton's options. Shanghai boasts one of the longest straights on the calendar, where DRS can make a significant difference in the fight for position. To capitalize on this advantage, Ferrari will need to ensure Hamilton has sufficient top speed without compromising cornering performance. The balance between downforce and straight-line speed will be crucial, and any mistake in this regard could hamper his progress or leave him open to attacks from his rivals. In addition to technical and strategic aspects, another element to consider is the evolution of the race and potential unforeseen events. The Chinese Grand Prix has historically been a race prone to the deployment of safety cars, which can completely alter the outcome of the competition. If an unexpected opportunity presents itself, such as a timely safety car, Ferrari will need to react quickly to adjust its strategy and place Hamilton in the best possible position. The performance of its rivals will also influence its chances of victory. Red Bull remains a constant threat with Max Verstappen leading the way, but the Austrian team showed some vulnerability in the sprint, where the Dutchman admitted he lacked the pace in the closing laps. McLaren, meanwhile, has proven to have an extremely competitive car, although its inconsistent strategy execution could work in Ferrari's favor. If its rivals make mistakes or struggle with degradation, Hamilton could find an opportunity to climb the rankings and challenge for victory. For Ferrari and Hamilton to triumph in China, all of these factors will need to play in their favor. A good start, a well-executed strategy, efficient tire management, and a balanced car will be key as they attempt to turn a sprint victory into an even bigger result in the main race. Despite his promising performance in the sprint race, Lewis Hamilton faces multiple obstacles that could complicate his fight for victory at the 2025 Chinese Grand Prix. Beyond the SF25's potential in ideal conditions, the reality of the feature race is that starting from 5th represents a significant challenge on a circuit where opportunities for progress are limited and tire management will be crucial. One of the main challenges for Hamilton will be his starting position. Starting from the 3rd row means he won't have the benefit of clean air as he did in the sprint race, and will have to deal with traffic in the early stages of the race. In modern Formula One, being stuck in the middle of the pack not only affects overtaking ability but also compromises the car's aerodynamic performance. The dirty air generated by the cars in front will reduce the SF25's efficiency in the corners, which can increase tire degradation and affect overall race pace. The start will be crucial. In the opening corners of Shanghai, incidents are common due to the tricky braking at Turn 1, which extends into a long line toward Turn 2 before entering a tight chicane at Turn 3. In this area, losing positions is a real risk, especially if Hamilton is on the wrong side of traffic or if a more aggressive rival tries to gain ground in the opening meters. If he fails to gain positions at the start, his strategy will be further compromised by being caught behind cars that could slow his progress. Another major obstacle will be managing tire wear in traffic. During the sprint, Hamilton was able to optimize the performance of the SF25 by leading the race from the opening lap, avoiding aerodynamic turbulence that further wears the rear tires. However, in the main race he will need to adapt his driving style to minimize wear in heavy traffic, where maintaining ideal tire temperatures can become a critical issue. The balance of the SF25 will also be a key factor. Qualifying showed that Ferrari has not yet found the perfect setup to maintain consistent performance throughout all phases of the weekend. The changes made after the sprint didn't have the desired effect, casting doubt on whether the team will be able to regain optimal balance for the main race. If the car remains too sensitive to adjustments, Hamilton could face a difficult car to handle on long runs, which would reduce his chances of attacking the leaders. Race strategy will need to be executed flawlessly. On a track like Shanghai, where DRS plays a crucial role in making progress, Ferrari will need to precisely time the pit stops. A successful undercut could help Hamilton gain positions, but if the team decides to extend his first stint too far to try a one-stop strategy, he could find himself at a disadvantage against rivals on fresher tires in the final stretch of the race. Another factor that could affect his chances is the presence of safety cars. The Chinese Grand Prix has historically been an incident-prone race, and a poorly timed neutralization could compromise any pre-planned strategy. Ferrari will need to be ready to react immediately to any changes in the race's progress and ensure Hamilton benefits from any unexpected opportunities. In addition to technical and strategic factors, the competitiveness of their rivals will be another major obstacle. Red Bull and McLaren have shown solid pace throughout the weekend, and Max Verstappen remains the favorite for victory. The Dutchman has demonstrated an exceptional ability to maximize his car's performance in race conditions, meaning Hamilton will need more than just raw speed to challenge him. McLaren, on the other hand, has been a constant threat this season, and with Lando Norris starting from the front, Ferrari will not only have to contend with Red Bull, but also with a team that has shown significant progress in 2025. To overcome all these obstacles and aim for victory, Hamilton will need to execute a perfect race, avoiding mistakes at the start, maximizing his pace in traffic, and relying on Ferrari's strategy to find the right moment to attack. His experience and talent will be crucial, but the performance of the SF25 and the team's decisions will play an equally decisive role in the outcome of the race. The 2025 Chinese Grand Prix is shaping up to be a race full of uncertainty for Ferrari and Lewis Hamilton. Although the sprint victory demonstrated that the SF25 has the potential to compete at the highest level, the problems in qualifying and the car's sensitivity to small adjustments raised doubts about whether Ferrari can convert that performance into a victory in the main race. The key to the final result will depend on multiple factors. The strategy Ferrari chooses will play a decisive role in Hamilton's chances, especially whether he can execute an effective undercut or capitalize on any potential safety car interventions. Tire management will be another key aspect, as tire degradation has been a weak point for the team so far this season. If Hamilton manages to stay within his optimal performance window without losing time in traffic, his chances of fighting for victory will increase significantly. The level of competition on the grid will also have a major influence on the outcome of the race. Red Bull and McLaren have demonstrated competitive pace throughout the weekend, and overtaking rivals like Max Verstappen and Lando Norris will be no easy task. Any error in strategy execution or poor pace management in the first stint could mean the difference between fighting for a podium finish or being eliminated from contention. What is clear is that this will be one of the most important races in the start of Hamilton's new era with Ferrari. A solid result could consolidate his adaptation to the team and bolster confidence in the Scuderia's project for the 2025 season. On the other hand, a disappointing result could further expose the inconsistencies in the SF25's performance and cast doubt on Ferrari's ability to regularly challenge for wins. From here, the conversation is open. The question many are asking is whether Ferrari can make up for Saturday's mistakes and whether Hamilton has what it takes to recover from 5th place and fight for victory in China. Leave your opinion in the comments. Do you think Hamilton will manage to win his first feature race with Ferrari, or will Red Bull and McLaren be too strong? What strategy should Ferrari pursue to maximize its chances? Share your analysis of what could happen in the race. Subscribe to the channel for more Formula One content and turn on notifications so you don't miss future analyses. In the following video, we'll explore whether Ferrari has a realistic chance of challenging for the title in 2025 or if inconsistency issues will continue to affect its performance throughout the season.